All right, Coach, congratulations on the win. Just
Thank you,
give me
thank
your
you.
general thoughts on your team's performance today.
For me, it comes down to we were ready to fight. We were ready to compete. We were ready to go toe-to-toe with a really competitive side in Charlotte in terms of how they show up and how they play. We absolutely had to be at our best, but not just at our best in possession or at our best in the final third or at our best when we had the ball, but we had to be at our best in terms of competing. And it shows what we're capable of when we show up and we absolutely put in a shift in terms of work and we compete. We're a top team.
Kind of going back to the first goal, obviously Gino getting on the score sheet is very big for you and for him.
Yeah.
But the old adage goes, goals change games. You guys kind of set the tone for the rest of the first half, leading up 1-0. How big was that goal in the grand scheme of things?
I think it gave us confidence for one, and it shows we did some things under a really organized press to get out and create chances, but then we were also smart when we couldn't really play out to put the ball in areas where maybe we win it and play from there. But I think obviously the goals change games. They give us that confidence, but I'm also excited with the number of chances we created. I mean, we created, I know the scoreline was 2-1, but I would say if you took the balance of chances, we could have had 5 goals. We could have had 6 goals. And so, as we get better and better and more confident in front of goal, we're looking to put in, 3-4 of those 5-6 quality chances. So I'm happy with the group in every aspect. That was the group going forward, but then how we defended, the work we did in transition, when we lost the ball and the running back and that's suffering for the group, right? That is work, and if you don't do it, chances are a team at the level of Charlotte's going to score, and we were determined.
Kind of talking about the defensive aspect of things,
Yeah.
Obviously Owen coming into the back line, he's played there before, but he hasn't been starting there.
Yeah.
And then Rafa getting hurt, having Andres come in. Just talk about how
100%.
those guys stepped up in the center back roles.
I think it's always the next man up with our group. We're so fortunate that we have quality players in Owen, in Tico, who can step in and I don't think we lost a beat. They were ready, and then that's the other thing that's a credit to them, right? Sometimes you're not, in Tico's case, he wasn't selected to start, but as soon as he came in, there was no drop in level. He was ready. That says a lot about Tico as a person, as a competitor. And then Owen stepped up tonight, was fantastic. He's just a very smart player. And, the more and more games he gets, the better and better he gets. And I would also say AJ and Anderson. Just AJ was so good tonight. Anderson was so good tonight. Beto defensively, just the work that they were willing to do. They just didn't want to concede a goal.
Aside from getting the W, how is this game a rebound from your performance against UAB?
Well, I think we did in this game what we didn't do at the right level in the UAB game. When you look at the UAB game, I think we had about 70% possession. So somewhere, I think it was actually 65% possession, and but didn't transition well. There were big moments in that game where we were going to have to work and where UAB got chances, and we didn't quite recognize those moments. So I think it's always a process of you evaluate your last game, and that gives you an idea of what you're going to do in your next training session, and then you have to do better. And so for me, I'm really happy with the response. The response in terms of what we put our attention to as well.
Take me through that game-winning goal there with Luca Dorado. It ended up getting posted on the NCAA's main soccer Twitter account. I mean, who knows? Maybe we might see him on the SportsCenter Top 10 later. But take me through that goal.
So I don't know how it originated, but it came down the left side, and then it was a diagonal ball to the back post. We caught them shifting over a little bit. There really wasn't that much space, and honestly, that ball was probably an inch from going over the line. Luka, smart, knows where to position himself. He was ready when that ball got pulled back, and just he can be in front of goal. He's a potent finisher.
Kind of looking at after that goal,
Yeah.
defending for the last 15 minutes, there were kind of moments where players were coming down and then immediately turning the ball over back to Charlotte, giving them more opportunities. What was the kind of strategy within the last 10 minutes, especially with possession in their final third?
Well, there were probably one or two moments towards the end I would have been happier had we just kind of taken the ball to the corner and just tried to waste a little bit of time. But at the same time, if you do cut inside and you do score, then the game's probably over, right? And I've actually been in a situation where I'm screaming at a player in a championship game to go to the corner because there's 5 minutes left, and he cuts inside and he scores, and I'm like, forget it, never mind. and so, I mean, ideally we keep the ball better in those moments, honestly, and we create a really good opportunity, or at least we don't turn over possession when we're not all squeezed up and in a really good position. So there were a couple moments where we got transitioned on, but our guys handled those moments really, really well.
Kind of looking at this team, it seems like there's two versions of this team right now, with and without Gino Vivi, offensively specifically.
Yeah, he helps a lot.
And not only that, but he's tracking back defensively. He's giving you a shift everywhere. How important has he been to this team when he's playing, and how important has it been for when he's not playing, that this team hasn't been able to kind of find that rhythm offensively?
Yeah, I think what Gino does is Gino beats a player, and Gino in beating a player, sometimes that's us breaking their press, right? Charlotte had a very organized press. It was difficult to break, but in Gino and Luca Dorado and Mao, Oscar, when we broke that press, then now their back line was pretty high, and we could threaten. And then Gino can create for himself, and he can create for others. So he's often the one breaking the pressure, and then once we break that pressure, now we have the ability to hurt a team, and he's really important in those moments. So, and sometimes that's a little lower on the field, sometimes it's higher on the field, right, where he'll beat an outside back, he'll cut inside and skip past 2 or 3 people, and then they're not sure who should step out, who should drop, and he'll create something maybe on the other side. So he's really important in creating stuff for himself and for others.
Kind of looking at the last 2 games of the season, you're at Tulsa, you're home here against USF. They're basically must-win games for you right now in terms of getting good seeding in the conference. How big was this in the grand scheme of things to get 3 points here at home, considering this is your penultimate game at home?
No, it's massive. Our backs are against the wall, and we know it. This team's good when it comes to pressure. I think we like pressure. I think it makes us a little better. So, we continue now. We've got to go to another really good team in Tulsa, and we've got to do something similar to what we did here. Be ready to compete at the highest possible level and bring our quality to it as well, and how we want to play. But I think we're excited for it. We want to continue our season. We don't want our season to come to an end.
You have wins on your belt against FIU, now number 13 ranked Charlotte, losses against FAU and UAB. Can you talk about how just top to bottom the difficult this American Conference is this season?
Yeah, I think each team presents different issues and different problems, and some of them we've dealt with well. Some of them maybe we didn't play a full game in some of those early conference games. So, I mean, there's so many good teams, and they all play a little bit different. You have teams that are somewhat more direct. You have teams that want to play and build out of the back. There's a lot of quality teams, and honestly, they all present different problems, and we have to solve them.
Little unsung hero tonight in the form of Lucas Maurer got an assist on both goals tonight.
Fantastic.
Can you talk about his performance tonight?
No, he came in and he was excellent, and I think was able again, similar to Gino in that he can create. He's incredibly strong, powerful guy. Can skip past people. Can also hold up the ball for us. And you know, sometimes when the ball goes long, you need someone to compete for the ball and hold it up, and then be able to find options so we can continue to progress. He does that, but also in and around the goal, he's dangerous, and he's dangerous in a little different way to Gino, right? He's not quite as quick, but he's powerful and he's strong. He can come inside on his left foot. He can go down the line with his right foot. So he's playing really well.
How important has it been for Gino and Luka to be playing together? Because Luka, of course, is one of your biggest shooters, but it seems like they're just get into another gear when they play together.
Yeah, I think when we can get a consistent lineup, I think this has also been something that's difficult for us this year. Is, you know, if you look like game to game, there's a lot of different lineups that have been put out there, and part of that has been injuries. But when we can put a consistent lineup together and they get some cohesiveness between them and a little bit better understanding, I think you start to see them find each other more. And so we need to continue to do that and continue to be able to find the relationships between those players.
What do you want your team to take with them from tonight's game into these final 2 games against Tulsa and USF? And kind of in a similar vein, what does this team need to do in order to make the conference tournament?
Show up and compete at the highest level. Show up and work and be willing to suffer for it, because I think if you've got a big purpose, you're willing to suffer, right? And I think this team has a big purpose, and we know what we're capable of, and now we just have to be willing to do the parts of the game that are difficult, the most difficult. And if we do that, then that actually allows us to be able to play in this way where we're able to build out from the back, keep possession, create lots of chances. But I think if we're taking one thing from this game, is if you do those things, that's the foundation for you to be able to do the stuff that you like and the stuff that you enjoy more.
Awesome. Thank you, Coach.
All right. Thanks, guys.